All right. Well, it is 10:01. Let us just get rolling here. Welcome to the first stop on our Tech Ambassador journey here, where we're doing our very first regional meeting out of the 10 that we will be doing between now and the end of May. So we're super glad you've joined us. And this is the regional meeting for Northeast Ohio, and we're super happy to have Chris Cooley here with us. So what I'm going to do real quick is just kind of introduce what we're going to do in this meeting, and then we are going to get it moving. Okay, I'm going to share my screen again. Okay. First thing we'll do is just kind of go over the agenda for the day and how we expect our hour to go here. So right now we're doing a little intro, and then we are going to take about 10 minutes, and then Chris and I are sort of going to co-present what we are calling our core presentation, where we're going to overview remote supports, assistive technology, what technology first means, and these are all kind of central to what we're doing as tech ambassadors in this program. Then we are going to stop and show you a little video that we have put together about something called the Tech Ambassador Code. Then we are going to turn this over to Chris Cooley, and he is going to tell you his tech story, the impact that technology has made on his life and what it's done for him. The next little segment of our event today is going to be what we're calling our Tech Spotlight. And this will be the most techy portion of the event today. Chris is going to actually show you some of the equipment that he uses for remote supports, and that'll be fun. And then we're going to take a second to introduce a special guest to you this morning that we've got to meet a couple of weeks ago and talk about a really cool technology that this person uses. All right. And as I said, we think the last maybe 20 minutes we will be able to reserve for your questions, whether you choose to do them over the Q&A or if you want to wait and ask those live. So a couple of other quick things we want to mention in the intro here. One is our website's a really important way to stay in touch with what the tech ambassadors are doing. So that's ohiotechambassadors.org. And we've got our schedule with links to our first 5 regional events that are out there right on the front page. You've got brief introductions to each of our 5 tech ambassadors that are there and their emails, and you can just click a button and send them an email if you want to get in touch directly with them. We have a Facebook page, and if you're in Facebook, you can just look up Ohio Tech Ambassadors. Same on Instagram, and we hope you'll like those pages and follow those for all kinds of different announcements about our events and different things that we're doing. And we have a YouTube channel, which we've added recently. And the most important thing about that is that we are recording all of these events. This particular one we did with pretty short notice, and so we've had, we got a decent number of folks registered and with us today, but I'm sure we'll have many more who would have liked to join us and couldn't, but you'll be able to go to YouTube and watch this event there. So if you're watching over YouTube later, welcome to YouTube. All right. So as we mentioned, we're doing the Northeast region. So those are the counties in sort of brown on the slide there. And we've got our other 4 regions, and we'll be doing those first round events coming up in the month of March. And we just want to mention briefly our schedule. So today is Tuesday, February 16th. With Chris, and then the next event we've got is 2 weeks later, and that one is for Central Ohio with Marcy Straughter. And then the next week we've got a meeting for Southeast Ohio with Tanner Huff. The The following week, Nathan Turner will host an event for Northwest Ohio. And then the last one will be Wednesday, March 4th with Robert Shoemake for Southwest Ohio. Okay, and then we will be publishing actual dates for the schedule in our round 2 meetings, and those will happen in April and May. And then we'll have a statewide wrap-up event that we expect to have probably in that last week of May. Okay. So next portion of our presentation for today. Chris and I are gonna sort of tag team what we're calling the core presentation. So I am gonna share my screen one more time. All right, Chris, are you ready to go?
Let's rock and roll.
Okay, so we're going to talk just generally about supportive technology in Ohio. And if you happen to join us at any other event, you'll notice this is we're calling it a core presentation because this will be made in every one of our first 5 regional events. But you just may get to see it presented by different people. Okay. So what we want to do is start out with 3 questions this morning as we talk about these core concepts. And I want you, if you're an individual with a developmental disability, to just think about these questions. And if you're not, I want you to put yourself in the role and the position of a person with a developmental disability as you think about these questions. Think about that person or persons. First question, do you have trouble finding direct care staff to come to your home ever? Second question, if you do not live on your own, would you like to do so, but you have fears about moving out and living on your own? And then a third question, which is a little bit interesting and different. Think back to 1 year ago, before we had COVID-19. Would you have considered telehealth a realistic possibility in your life? Okay, just think about that. Chris, anything you want to add to those questions?
Yeah, I mean, these questions are important, even though you don't have multiple disabilities or any disability. Just imagine one day, you know, you have a disability that, you know, have no control over. Think about these questions hard, how impact these questions would be on you.
Great. And by the way, you have participated in some telehealth, right? Yourself?
I have, and also just experienced using a sign language interpreter last month with telehealth, and that was something new.
Yeah, one of a lot of new things that we've done in the past year in this country, right? All right, so we're going to preview the things we'll talk about next. So supportive technology in Ohio is basically made up of 3 things. Assistive technology, so that's electronic equipment that makes life better, safer, more independent. Chris is actually going to show you some of the assistive technology equipment he has later in our tech spotlight, as we mentioned. Both support, so that's a service delivery model that can help replace direct in-home care. So instead of having a person in your home, you can still have access to a support person over 2-way video. And then technology first. So that's a law in Ohio that governs how care is provided to individuals and how we prioritize the way that we're taking care of our individuals with developmental disabilities. All right, so first up is assistive technology. So this is a equipment or services, and it's a really wide range of different things. So I'm just going to pop some of these up on the screen. Chris, if you just want to chime in on any of these things while we put them up here, feel free. you have a medication dispenser you're going to demo for us in a little while, right?
Right.
Door locks, touchscreen tablets, sensors of all kinds. Do you have any motion sensors or anything like that in your home, Chris?
I do have motion sensors, and a camera, which is
Okay.
awesome.
So these are just pieces of equipment, and they can help folks, but they can be provided without any sort of an actual support service. So you can have these pieces of equipment in your home totally apart from whether you have part or all of your care provided using the equiment. So we can say that that's provided without remote support. Yes, Chris?
The question I always get a lot is that you have all these technology, which is pretty cool, but I have seizures. So how would that help me be independent with seizure? Would they have sensors that can help with that, and different watches that can help with that, and still be on your own?
Great point. All right, so here's the question we want to throw out to everybody as we've gone through what assistive technology is. Which of the above types of devices did you maybe already know about? Which of those types of devices do you already use? And again, if you're not a person with a developmental disability, put yourself in that person's position. Do you use any of these pieces of equipment? And then the last question, which is a little more of a challenge, could you use any of these types of technologies or equipment if you don't? Okay. Be thinking about that. Again, not many people would have really thought that they would visit a doctor over a Zoom meeting a year ago. And maybe we just have to rethink about how realistic some of these things are. All right, on to the next topic here, remote support. So historically, this used to be called remote monitoring. It's a service that's been around in Ohio for a long time. I think we're probably coming up on almost 10 years it's been available. They used to call it remote monitoring, but improvements in the service make remote support really a more appropriate term. Instead of just people sitting and looking at a bunch of cameras and not really being able to interact with the folks in the home, which is the way that it used to be done primarily. Now we've got two-way video capability, which is just like Skype or FaceTime. And that ability to actually talk in this two-way communication is really what makes support a better term than monitoring. All right, this could be used for help with all kinds of things that a person might be doing in a home by themselves: cooking, getting dressed, checking on medications, safety, other things. So the whole idea is it helps people to live more independently. So Chris, do you have providers come to your home?
I can if I need them, like taking me to grocery store or giving me a ride to a support group meeting or wherever I might want to go, church. They could take me there, but I can still be independent at home. I like the idea of remote monitoring changing because it gives a person with disability the opportunity to say, I'm on my own. I don't have to have that monitoring, because it makes people feel better knowing that it's called support team, remote support team, and therefore that team is there if you need them, or just want to chat. And the remote support, the monitoring, it's just people sitting there watching you all day long. And that's just like having somebody in your own home watching you all day long. So,
right.
The support team will kind of help with that.
Okay, great. So another thing that happens is that we help cover shortages in direct care staff availability. And many of you know that this has been a really big problem, not only in the state of Ohio, but in many, many states in the country. It's very difficult to find people to come and provide direct care in a person's home. So where we can have this two-way video capability help augment and in some cases replace direct care, we're able to provide care we may not be able to provide at all if we only depended on staff visiting people in a home. This service is 100% customized to the needs and wants of an individual. So for example, if a person like Chris did not want to have a camera in the home, and some people do not, it doesn't need to be put in the home. So that person's team is going to get together and meet with that remote support company, and everyone's going to agree which pieces of equipment are important to that person. And only those pieces of equipment are going to be added. Now, Chris, you said you do have a camera, right?
I do. It only comes on when I need support to turn it on. If I feel anxious or if I feel like unsafe, then I can ask them to turn it on and kind of just listen to the conversation that's going on in the home or something like that. That way, the bad things don't happen that you don't want to happen, and they're there to help with that. And so they're not watching it all the time, just when I need them to.
That's great. All right. So unlike remote support or unlike assistive technology, which can stand on its own and does not require the support service, remote support almost always is accompanied by assistive technology equipment, right? So there's always going to be pieces of equipment that are either a part of what the remote support team has access to in a person's home, maybe a security system or a thermostat or things like that. But especially that two-way video is a piece of assistive technology equipment that's very helpful in providing remote support. All right. So again, a question for everyone. Did you already know about this service? If you did, do you use it? If you do not, could you use it? Even for a part of a day. So think about that.
Or would you recommend it to somebody in your family or a loved one?
Right. All right, last component of supportive technology in Ohio is technology first. So this is an executive order that was signed into effect in May of 2018 by Governor Kasich. So, and we'll be providing this presentation for folks if you want this. So I put the link here. It's really interesting, and it's not difficult to read. It's only about 3 pages. You can click this link in the presentation if you decide to, or even just look this up on Google. Basically, it stated that supportive technology is going to be prioritized when we are looking at how we address the needs of people in Ohio with developmental disabilities. So it's really not so much could they use technology? It's really more like, why can't technology be a primary solution? We're going to need reasons why it can't be rather than reasons why it could be. Okay, so the other thing this executive order did was created the Ohio Technology First Council. This is a group of people that's been meeting periodically since the executive order signed. And their whole idea is to try to help work on the way this service is provided to make it more and more realistic for people as an option with developmental disabilities. All right, so a real quick point here. What do you do if your SSA is not discussing technology with you as a preferred solution? Okay. First thing, advocate for yourself, and/or if you feel like you need to, have an advocate talk on your behalf to your SSA. Chris, you want to chime in on that? I know you were in this position, right?
Right. It's really important to know, you're right. And other family members and other friends know the right that you have, because when this was done, it was awesome because I've only had it come up maybe once throughout my services with the county, with SSA or service coordinators, and that was not fair to me, because it could have been better for me if I knew about it, and knew the services that were out there for me at that time. So yeah, it's really important to know this, and take your time and go and check out that link, and get to know it and share it with your friends and family, and make sure they know, it's out there and they're asking questions. And if you can't ask the question, then get someone that you can trust to help you answer those questions.
Good. And we'll briefly just mention, I mean, I think in probably 98% of the cases, if you come to your SSA and you tell them you want to, have technology, be a part of your solution, they're going to do what they can on your behalf. In those rare cases where maybe you wouldn't get the response you wanted, you can always contact the SSA director in your county, or follow a complaint process for your county. All counties in the state of Ohio have one of those. All right, so here's the question for you to just ponder. What would it take for you to truly follow technology first as a philosophy for your life? Think about that. For you to really think, can I use technology as my first option for the support that I need? All right, quick wrap up here. Assistive technology and remote supports provide a way to fill gaps where we don't have enough direct care staff, and help people live more independently. And the technology first provides that directive to really think about using technology first. So just think about that Zoom doctor visit we talked about in the beginning. Just like a lot of people wouldn't have considered that to be very realistic a year ago, but many do now. That's a technology. Could these technologies we've talked about be more realistic for you than you thought? Any last thing you want to chime in on there, Chris?
Well, I mean, talking about this Zoom, I was thinking, as we added the telehealth thing on there and bringing that question up, I know a lot of people's going to say, well, how's the doctor going to check my blood pressure? How's the doctor going to, check my sugar? Well, the Apple product and different other products that came out with apps that literally just touch your arm and you got the answer right in front of them, or different ways to do it. And so it's awesome to know that these technologies are there.
Right. And that's a great point. Technology is not the answer for every single thing, right? But it can be the answer for maybe more things than we thought. And then where we can't use technology, we do have other ways. All right. Great. Moving on to the next little part of our event today. I want to just share with you, while Chris kind of gets ready to tell his tech story, a video that we put together with all of our tech ambassadors that talks about something called the Tech Ambassador Code. So a little over a month ago, we sat with all of our tech ambassadors in a meeting, and I had asked them to think ahead of time about what it meant for them to be a tech ambassador. What is a tech ambassador? And just sat and kind of listened to them talk for about 20 to 30 minutes, and then took all of the things that they said and kind of condensed them down. And this is what we came up with. Apparently I'm going to have to find that. I thought I had that ready. I'm going to restart that for everyone. All right. Sorry for not being quite prepared there. Here we go. All right, so we'll be publishing a longer version of that to YouTube that we'll promote on our Facebook and our Instagram feeds that you can go and check out. But I thought that came out really nice. All right, Chris, if you're ready, we're going to turn this over completely to you and just have you tell us your tech story. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, great.
Are you ready?
Yeah, we're all ready.
All right. You know, as I as I prepared this morning, around 6:30 in the morning, I ended up thinking about, you hear families and friends and neighbors. When you get excited, you have this friend, probably named Alex. Let's call him Alex. You have this friend that is a role model in your life, and you see him having fun on his own. You see having friends over, staying all night, but you're at home and you're with family, and you can't really do that like Alex can. So you bring up the opportunity to say, oh, I would like to be like Alex. I want to be on my own. I want to be independent. I want to have my friends to be able to come over and say, oh, let's have some fun. So, and did you hear family and friends say, what if? What if there is an emergency? What if you catch something on fire? What if you need something and I'm not there to help you? And I hear moms and dads say that all the time. What if I'm not there to help you? And so, I grew up like that. My mom hollering, what if? What if? And if I gave my mom the opportunity, I'd be right there and not be able to explore the world. But I didn't give my mom that opportunity to keep me there for what if. Because I came back to my mom and I said, you're not going to, excuse me, let me turn this off. I'm sorry. You're not, if you're not around, who am I going to fall back on if I don't learn how to be independent? And so therefore I went out on my own. My mom did worry. My mom did probably lost some hair and gained some weight because she worried so much about me and didn't know what I was going to do. But I'll tell you what, the what if ended up being a struggle for me because I realized what my mom was saying, what if? And so I was living on my own in Columbus. And as a caring and kind person I am, I always like to help people. Always like to be there for them. And I ended up in a relationship. I thought I had friends. I thought this relationship was going to be, you know, the love of my life. But coming to find out that what if my mom was saying happened, and I didn't realize it. And I'm like, oh God, I didn't know what to do. Because I have people taking advantage, moving in to where that I wasn't really seeing that. I wasn't really doing that. But then my mental health kept falling down and falling down because I didn't know what to do. These guys were moving in on me. The relationship was only there because, they wanted to be, take advantage of something that they see. Oh, if he doesn't see it or hear it, it'll be fine. We could do whatever we want to do as long as you don't see it and hear it. Well, they are correct because I am hearing impaired and vision impaired, and I don't see and hear everything. And things were going on that shouldn't be, and I tried my best to figure it out. My mental health got worse. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. But let me say this, my sister had brought it up to my service coordinator and said, well, what if we use technology, meaning cameras or the doorbells, to be able to make sure those things are not happening and see what's going on so we can help correct those problems. And the one thing that aggravates me sometimes when I think about it is that my service coordinator told my sister, oh, he is his own guardian. We can't step in and do something like that. Even though I am my own guardian, they are able to come and introduce the technology. Was the technology that I have now available then? Yes, it was available, but it was not brought up. It was not, hey, Chris, you want to try this? Maybe it'll help you. Do you want to be able to use this? And maybe it'll decoy, those people that are wanting to make that, decision to take advantage. It would turn them around and go the other way. That never did come up. I struggled that for a while. Here's the other part about it, is that my friend Shirley came and said, Chris, as a friend, I love you. You need to get out of here as fast as you can. You need to go get you need to go get help and protect yourself. Get away from the relationship that's only holding on for something for nothing. And I realized that my mental health was getting worse. So I had to move back home for safety. Because that's the only way I knew how to get away from it, was moving back home. And when I moved back home, my mom said, I told you so. What if? And I, she did tell me. But you know what? A couple months, I stayed there for a couple months, got myself together, got myself back, mental health strong, and everything. And so I started to think, I want to go and live on my own again. I'm going to get me a house or an apartment. So I got to looking for all that. And my mom telling me, what if? That might happen again. That might happen again. So I talked to my SSA, and my SSA here in Sauter County listened to me. And that law that was technology first, my SSA did it. Because that was the first thing after I said what I felt, and I didn't want what happened there to happen here. He said, what about trying a remote support team, technology? And I was like, okay, it sounds fun. I think I'll try it. So they came in, they sat down, they showed me this little pad, which, it has a button. So if I feel like I need to talk to somebody, just say, for 10 minutes, I can push that button and I can push that. And then it'll call somebody. And the other person on the team will be able to see me. I see them and we can talk. And if somebody came to my house and I didn't know them, or somebody that from Columbus came here and found out where I was, I have a button right here that I can push, and it'll automatically bring up all my doors and my kitchen. So therefore, the camera's in the kitchen, and I could use this. I could use this tablet at the stove, and they could turn on the camera in the kitchen and help me cook something. If I don't understand something, then I can ask them to help me if they're there for that. And that's what technology is good for. And when they showed me that, and they told me that they're going to put a camera in my kitchen, I was like, no, I want my privacy. But I remembered, I want protection. I want to feel safe, because that's why I was asking for it, help. And I remember that the bad things that happened in Columbus, I didn't want to happen here in where I am now. And so to fix that problem, I put the camera in. So that way, if I felt uncomfortable with anybody around me, then I could just say, hey, can you turn the camera on, and kind of just watch the camera for a little bit. I didn't have to tell them what's going on. I just asked them to help you, because they're an extra eye. They're an extra ear. They can hear the alarms going off, fire alarms going off. They can see the sensors if I fall, or if something smoke starts rolling. The sensors will detect that. It doesn't show them, but it detects that motion. So they can turn on the camera real quick and see what's going on and turn the camera off if it's not important. So therefore that, and then I also have this little item that they showed me, which is pretty cool. And all I have to do is get them filled up, which is connected to the Wi-Fi, and it's also connected to the support team. The support team will call me in the morning and say, hey, Chris, good morning, how are you? What do you got planned for today? Which I really like, because it really makes me think of something to do. It gives me that I know I've got to have something to do, because they're going to ask me what I'm going to do today. And so that keeps me motivated. That keeps me wanting to be, independent. And so all I have to do is just push the green button, and it popped out. So when I pop that out, it automatically sends a signal to the support team and also to my SSA, and says, hey, Chris took his medicine today, yay. But when I don't take my medicine for a while, and they don't see that popping out, they will contact my SSA and say, hey, we haven't seen Chris take his medicine in a while. Something changed? Then my SSA will call me and talk to me. Maybe I was depressed, or maybe I'm down, or something's going on that shouldn't be going on. So my SSA has an idea. Hey, I call Chris and check in on him. Well, just come over and check on me. And so that's a great thing, because I know they call me 2-3 times a day just to see how I'm doing, make sure I'm doing what I said I was going to do in the morning throughout the day, and I'm having fun at it. The excitement that the team has makes me so excited, that makes me want to do more things. And I also have this little thing, this little guy. It's called an M-purse. It's an emergency button. You might see it on TV a lot, but it's a whole lot different than what's on TV. This button here, I can push it. Let's just say I'm walking down a neighborhood that's not kind of a safe neighborhood. I can push it, and I can say, hey, can you talk to me while I go through this neighborhood? They'll sit there and talk to me while I go through that neighborhood. because I can feel safer having somebody. I have that second ear and that second eye. Even though they can't see it, they can hear it. And they know where I am because they can turn on a GPS and say, okay, this is where you are. You might want to go a different way. So they can help me with that. Or if I fall, I can push it. If something bad happens, I can push it. Like say, I make a friend that I thought was a great friend, but turned out to be like the people in Columbus, and I was uncomfortable. All I would have to do is push this, and I wouldn't have to say anything. I wouldn't have to do anything. All I would have to do is push it, and they would, if I don't answer it, and I don't answer my cell phone, guess what happened? They track it. They figure out where I am. They call my SSA. They call my family. They say, hey, something's going on. This is where Chris is. Do you want us to call 911? Well, knowing my family, they're going to say, no, we'll take care of it ourselves. But in most cases, 911 might be called. But the SSA will try to figure that out too. But you always safe and comfortable. It makes me peace of mind when I have all this. It gave me that peace of mind when they put it all in my house, knowing that when I put it in my house the first time, I went to bed and I slept 8 hours, not worrying about anything, not worrying about people going to find me where I live, and not worrying about different things because I had that extra eye, I had that extra ear, that they're there if I need them. And it was a relaxing time. And then I want to show you something else that's pretty cool real quick. And this will be my last moment. This item, you could carry around with you, like I was saying earlier. But also, I have this little pen. I don't know, it's a little pen. It's called Friend, let me see, Pen Friend. So it's a pen friend. And so, if I had a problem and talking to a driver, because I want to be independent. I want to be independent. All I have to do is have a friend or a family member or SSA help me make a recording. This thing will make a recording. I'll turn it on. You'll see the button. I have the record button right here. I can record. I already did that, so it'll be easier for me to show you. So all I would have to do is I have it on. I'm getting in the cab or transportation. And what if I can't speak? Or what if I can't, use my voice very well? And the driver might not understand me. That's okay, because me and my SSA, my support team, and my technology people help me figure it out. I got little notepads. I can listen to this. Driver, take me to Kroger. Dan, what's this?
I need egg, milk, cereal, bread, hot dog buns, hot dogs, sausages,
And
chips, and little Debbie snacks.
I learned the technique when I was in Helen Keller National Center for the Deaf Blind, because my deaf blind friend, it's hard to say you're independent, but it's easy when you come up with these little technologies, like remind me to take my meds. I have a trip card, that trip, taking me to the coffee shop. So all I would have to do is just touch the little magnet sticker I have on here with this pen, and it'll tell the driver where to take me. And if I want to go across the street, all I would have to do is stand there, and if I'm deafblind and I couldn't get across the street because the traffic was too much, all I would have to do is just have one of these in my hand and be able to use this until somebody tapped me on the shoulder and said, I'll help you across the street. And that's how you get people's attention sometimes. And that's a cool thing. And just one more thing I want to show. I've heard a lot of technology support companies asking this question, and I'm proud, I'm happy to be able to help them with it, which is a technology, if you all don't already know this, is a video phone for the hearing impaired. I can make calls on that. And I also been talking to some of the support companies about how you could connect that to the tablet. How can you do that with the tablet? It's easy. So therefore, I've been working with them and teaching them how it can be done for everybody, because technology first is for everyone. And no matter where you are, in Ohio, California, New York, doesn't matter. Technology is first. And it's awesome technology. So if you all have any questions in a little bit, feel free to ask them, because, you know, I'm excited to be able to help further more technology and teach other folks how they can be done. And I hope you enjoy the presentation my friend William will be giving here in a few minutes. And so happy that he was able to join us, because I really like this item, because it's exciting how it works, how the movement works on it. So let's just see how that happens.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chris. We appreciate that. Thanks for doing those demos for us as well. And we do want to take a second and talk about this really, really cool technology and a friend of ours that we got to meet a few weeks ago named William. He uses a technology called Neuronode Trilogy. Okay, and William doesn't speak with his natural voice, and he has very, very limited movement. So this device attaches to William's arm, and there's sensors where he can make just slight motions with his arm. And then he also has the ability to use eye gaze with this equipment to control computers. He can browse the web, he can email, he can watch shows, all of that. What we're going to do is give you just, we're going to say hi to William in just a second. In the second meeting that we have in Northeast Ohio, William has decided that he wants to put together an entire video that demonstrates how he uses this technology. So we'll just get a very tiny look at it right now. But another thing that he did in anticipation of this video that he's working on is he did a little trailer. So this is going to be like a movie trailer. And it's very short. So I just wanted to kind of show you that real quickly. Hopefully the sound works better on this than it did on the last video.
Hey, George, if it has sound, it's not working.
Did we still just have video and no sound?
Right.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what, let's we're going to bring William on here and let him say hi to everybody. If he can start his camera. There he is. William, hi, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me join you today. I am happy to be here.
That is awesome. So you can't see this, but William was able to actually use his Neuronode Trilogy to act as his voice right there. Well, we wish we had longer to talk this morning, but we are so excited about the project that you're doing with the video, and we can't wait to see more details about how you're using this great technology, William. Thanks again. Thanks for joining us. All right. So it looks like we've got just a few minutes here for some questions. So if you recall, if we have anybody that wants to ask a question live, you can raise your hand, and then we will promote you just like we did with William there, and give you a chance to talk to Chris and ask him a question. And while we're waiting for folks, I've got a question. Chris, do you use remote support for just certain hours of the day, or is it a 24/7 service for you?
Well, remote support service is there 24/7 if I need it. Do I use it 24/7? No. I like it being there 24/7 because it gives me that peace of mind, gives me that comfort in my home that I didn't have when I lived in Columbus. Now I do. So it's there if I need it. The only times that I really used it is like in the morning, reminding me to take my medicine. Just even though I remember to take my medicine, but it's good to remember to have that reminder. And at least when they call me in the morning, they say, "Good morning, don't forget to take your medicine. We're here if you need it." And it's really comfortable knowing that they're there. When they don't call me and just say, "Hey, we're just calling in to see how your day's going," I kind of like, I miss that voice. I miss it because I'm used to it. And it allows, every time I hear their voice, that allows me to know I can still walk out my door. They're still there to help me if I need it. I could go down the street to the coffee shop and sit there. And if I really need them, all I have to do is push the button and they'll just talk to me. And maybe I just want that conversation, but that's all they're there for.
That's great. I do want to make sure that we point out to everybody that some people have direct care providers that are still coming into their home for major parts of their day, and they use remote support service only for other hours of the day. Some people may just use it in the late evening instead of having direct care staff there late in the evening. Some people use it overnight, and then they have direct care staff come to their homes during the day. So it is a service where you can just have certain hours of the day where it's active. All right, we do have a question here, and this is from Becky, who asks, do you know if there's any similar service for Greenup County in Kentucky? And we hope there are services like this. I think that it's important to point out Ohio is really a leader in this type of technology in the country. And so there may be places in the country where not all of the services are provided, or they're provided in a slightly different way than what we do in Ohio. But everything that you're hearing us discuss this morning is specific to the state of Ohio and the way that we do technology. Not all states have a technology first law as we do. I think Ohio was the first one in the entire country, and I think there may be a few others that have joined in the last 2 years to become technology first states.
I'll jump in there with that question. I happen to know that some of the technology support that I have, I do believe they serve a little bit of Kentucky and around that area. I'm not really sure, but I would encourage you to ask your SSA, ask your service coordinators, your case managers about technology first. And if they don't know nothing about it, ask them to learn about it and see how you guys can better benefit to take that to your representatives and say, hey, this will be a need in our state. Why don't we do it? So I would encourage you to check it out and see what your case manager, your SSA knows. And if they don't know, take a copy of the Ohio Technology first to your representatives and say, hey, we need to adopt this. We need to make this happen in our state.
That's a great point. Great point. All right, I think we might have time for about one more here. And this is a question that I've heard myself many times, and it's especially important this time of year with all the snow and ice that we get. What happens if you are using remote support and the power goes out in your house? Have you ever had that happen, Chris?
That is a question that's dumb. Yeah, well, you know, most of the time the power does go out, but you have the connection of a cell phone sometimes. And if that's not helpful, your support technology team will get a signal saying, hey, so-and-so doesn't have connection. I'm not sure. They can also look at the weather map and see if the weather is bad. And if the weather is bad, maybe that's why the connection is not there. Then they'll call your SSA service coordinator, call your family members, say, hey, nothing emergency, just want you to go check on so-and-so because they don't have a Wi-Fi thing. You know, they're there to help support that family member as they come and check on so-and-so.
Yeah, that's a really important point. The biggest thing there really is your remote support provider is going to know immediately if you're without power in that home. And they've already got a list of phone numbers there that they are going to start calling immediately when they see that happen. And Chris, dead on that. It could be the SSA. It could be a family member if you have natural supports. It could be a direct care provider, an HPC provider that can reach out and go check. And I will say this, I know that some remote support agencies do have equipment that's on a battery and can use either a cell phone signal and or an actual phone line would continue to operate in the home when there's no power and even potentially provide two-way video. So if that's a question that you have, what you want to do is ask your remote support provider what their options are for that. All right. Well, it is 10:59, so I just want to make sure that I tell everybody how happy I am that you all joined us this morning. This has been a great fun, and we really hope you'll join us for some of these other events. If you're in Northeast Ohio, look for us again in about 2 months, and you'll get to see a little bit more about Williams Neuronode, and we'll keep you up to date. Chris will join us here again in Northeast Ohio. So
I want to say, I want to tell everybody, thank you for coming out, supporting everyone on this journey. And you can reach me at Chris at Ohio Tech Ambassador.org. You can email me there and be able to communicate with me. I'll answer all the questions the best as I can. And if you'd like for me to join your group on Zoom or in a small session, then I would do my best to be there and help with that. Just message me. I need a question about waiver. Just message me and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, and by the way, if anyone has more questions, you're welcome to keep asking those. We're going to give everybody an official goodbye here in the meeting if you got other things to do at 11, since we planned an hour. But Chris and I will hang around here for another little bit in case people do have more questions. So,
Yeah.
And this question is, Chris, do you have a waiver, and are your remote supports paid through the waiver?
I do have a self waiver, and it does pay for the remote support, and it's been helpful in paying for it, getting what I need, and everything. The thing is about the waiver paying it. My SSA sat down with me and talked to me about the only way the waiver would pay for him to sit down and talk to me about my needs, not what he thought, not what he thinks. It's what I think I need, or I'm comfortable with. And so we figured out a list of it, and so my waiver was able to pay for that. They do have private pay sometimes out there, and if you come to the other event, other tech ambassadors will introduce some of their items that they have that might be, it might be useful for you too in your own home.
Awesome.
I hope that answers your question.
Good, good. Well, I don't see any more questions. I see someone posted an encouraging message for you, Chris. I'll let you read that one
Let me see.
yourself. But unless we've got another question coming in, we'll go ahead and give an official sign off and say goodbye to everyone for today. Any more questions? We'll take just another second. All right. Well, everyone have a wonderful Tuesday. Stay warm and be careful if you're driving today. And we'll see you again. Bye, everyone.
See ya. Thank you.